The world's largest companies are currently heading to Saudi Arabia as the best destination for establishing businesses. But how difficult or easy it actually is to establish a company in Saudi Arabia, or to open a branch of your company in Saudi Arabia to provide your services or sell your products? The short answer is not that difficult. But if you know how to do it, but do you? Watch this video to know all you need about company formation in Saudi Arabia. Welcome back in a new video. This is Anas, the CEO of HFA firm. Today we will learn everything about opening a company in Saudi Arabia. You probably know that anyone who wants to establish a company in Saudi Arabia must have a Saudi partner. However, new laws have been issued, and now there's an option for non-Saudi foreigner companies to open a branch in Saudi Arabia with 100% foreign ownership. No Saudi citizen required. In this video, we will talk about stages of establishing a company in Saudi Arabia, type of licenses you can apply for it in Saudi Arabia, annual obligations and taxes, costs, and other stuff. Watch the video until the end to know all the details. First, let's talk about company formation stages in Saudi Arabia. To open a company in Saudi Arabia, you must carry out the following 4 steps. The first step is preparing the foreign company. In this video, we're going to talk about preparing a foreign company in order to open a branch for it in Saudi Arabia. Do note though that there are some other methods that we will discuss in later videos. In this method, the basic condition for establishing your Saudi company is to have a branch of an existing company in another country. This step takes place in 3 stages, which are preparing the documents of the foreign company, financial statements and auditing, and finally, we have to do documentation, attestation, and apostille. As we just mentioned, the first stage is to prepare documents for establishing the company from the home country, which differ from country to another. The second stage is to prepare the audit and financial statements for the last year or the previous year and ensure that you meet the conditions required by the Saudi Ministry of Investment. The third stage is to notarize and authenticate the company's documents and financial statements and ship them to Saudi Arabia. The second step is registration with the Saudi Ministry of Investment and Ministry of Commerce, which takes place also in 3 stages: preparing documents, determining the license, and the commercial registry. The first stage is to prepare the incorporating documents and reserve the trade name of the new Saudi company. The second stage is to determine the type of license for the new Saudi company and complete the process of obtaining the investment license. The third stage is to prepare the commercial register, determine activities, document the articles of incorporation, and publish in the official gazette. The third step is to complete registration on government platforms, which takes place also in, you guessed it, 3 stages. The first stage is to register the company with the Zakat, Income and Tax Authority, extract the company's tax number, and register the national address. The second stage is registration with the Human Resource and Social Insurance Authority and the Kiwa, Abshare, and Mukim platforms. The third step in opening a company in Saudi Arabia is to register the company with the Saudi Business Center and open a bank account. The fourth and final step is work residency permits, which takes place in 3 stages as well. The first stage is determining the company director and the number of required residency permits. The second stage is to prepare and issue the work permit for employees according to their country of residence. The third step is to obtain work permit from the Ministry of Investment and Transfer Sponsorship if they reside in Saudi Arabia. These are the 4 steps necessary to establish a company in Saudi Arabia. But be careful. These 4 steps contain tons of small details, and errors are strictly prohibited. Each stage has many specifics depending on the type of company and the nature of license that you are applying for, and it is necessary to have a consultant or a company with you to help you at each stage of the registration. Up to the date of releasing this video, we have established more than 450 companies for people of different nationalities around the globe, and you can contact us to help you establish a company in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. HFA firm is your business setup consultant in Saudi Arabia. In the first chapter, we talked about company formation steps in Saudi Arabia. The second chapter is going to talk about company licenses in Saudi Arabia. The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia offers many licenses that can apply for depending on the field of work, and we will mention here the 8 most important ones. Number 1, agricultural license, which is the license for companies that operate in agriculture. Number 2, audiovisual media licensing for companies that work in audiovisual media. Number 3, we have commercial license for companies that engage in wholesale and retail trade. Number 4, we have engineering offices consulting license for companies that provide engineering consulting services. Number 5 on the list, we have entrepreneurial license for entrepreneurs who want to open technical and innovative companies that expand and grow in Saudi Arabia. Number 6, we have license for printing and publishing activities for companies operating in this space. Number 7, we have have industrial licensing for all types of industrial activities such as heavy and light industries and manufacturing industries. And last but not least, number 8 on the list, service licensing. This provides license for many activities such as contracting, information technology, consulting, tourism, training, healthcare, insurance, reinsurance, you name it. This is an overview of the most important licenses offered by the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Note that each license contains many details and conditions, and it is very important that you know the details of the license you want to apply for. Otherwise, your application might get rejected, and you will have to pay additional costs. And remember, HFA Firm is your business setup consultant in Saudi Arabia. Please get in touch to know more about the details of the appropriate license for your company. In the previous chapter, we talked about the type of licenses in Saudi Arabia. In this chapter, we're going to talk about the annual obligations and taxes. The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, just like any other country, has annual taxes and obligations that must be attended to. Some of them are fixed regardless of the company, and some are related to type of your company. But in general, every company needs to do the following 7 things on a regular, annual, or quarterly basis. Number 1, renewing the investment license, which is the company's license on an annual basis. It costs around 62,000 Saudi riyals for most licenses. However, do note here that some entrepreneurial licenses, such as the one that you can get from some entities in Saudi Arabia, will give you an exemption for this type of license. And if you have an innovative kind of business, you can have a license and be exempt from paying this 62,000 Saudi riyals for the coming 2 years. If you're interested in knowing more, let us know down in the comments below. Number 2, we have preparing and submitting tax returns and paying a tax of 20% of the net profit, which is the percentage specified by the country and paid annually. Number 3, we have settlements of the value added tax, zakat, and tax authority, which is 15% of sales, and this amount is paid every quarter. Number 4 on the list, we have social insurance settlements, which is 2% of the salaries, and this amount is also paid every quarter. Number 5, we have renewing residency permits for foreigners who work in the company, and this is usually paid annually with the possibility of renewing a number of months that is less than a year. Number 6, renewals of licenses related to employment such as the municipal license, civil defense license, and the likes. These are usually paid every year. Number 7, fees for renewing subscriptions to the government electronic platforms regarding company management, which are paid annually. These fees and costs might look overwhelming, but don't worry. HFA Firm is your business setup of choice in Saudi Arabia and elsewhere. We are here to help you every step of the way. Contact us to know more. As we covered the annual obligations and type of taxes in Saudi Arabia in the previous chapter, in this 4th chapter, we're going to talk about the company formation cost in Saudi Arabia. Establishing a company in Saudi Arabia requires you to fully understand the costs associated with the process. First, you have the fees of preparing your foreign company if you already have an existing foreign company in another country, or for acquiring a company that meets the conditions so that you open a branch for it in Saudi Arabia. Its price varies according to the country from which you would like to acquire your foreign company from, and you must be aware that this step is very serious because completing the procedures inside the kingdom differs according to the type of company and the country of origin. It's also the same regarding the annual obligations that you will have later towards the foreign company. The second thing is the costs of obtaining the necessary licenses for your activity inside the kingdom, and this depends on the sector in which you will work. The costs and procedures for obtaining licenses for services activities are usually cheaper than licenses for commercial sectors. The third thing that you have to pay attention to is the costs of renting offices or workplaces, which vary according to the geographical location and size. The fourth thing is to prepare the office with the furniture and equipment according to your business needs. Finally, you have the fees of lawyers or legal advisors that you may need to assist you with the procedures and licenses. That is all for this video. Don't hesitate to contact us if you need any type of information regarding establishing your company in Saudi Arabia. You can contact us on WhatsApp numbers in the description of this video or via email, and we will provide you with all the support you need.